Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Very shortly after finishing recording part one of my video of the items I got from Victoria Beckham for Estée Lauder's latest collection. I'm going to link below part one where I talk about this product here, the Morning Aura Illuminating Cream, and the range generally and my first thoughts about it, and an overview of the products I didn't buy and why. So I'll link that below because it was quite lengthy if you're interested in that. And then in this part two, I'm going to talk about the two palettes, as it were, that I bought from the collection, an eye palette and the illuminator, the highlighter powder, that is, rather than liquid. So let's get stuck in to, that's the eye palette. I'm going to talk about that last. I want to talk about my favourite product from the range, which is this, and it's the highlighter, and it's called Modern Mercury. Let's take a moment to appreciate the packaging here, which is the standout aspect, I would say, of this range, although the products are perfectly nice and very good quality as far as I can tell. But it's packaging that you're paying for here, and boy, are you paying for it, but it is beautiful, and particularly in these palettes. First of all, do they remind you of anything? Here's a little hint. This is the Tom Ford Night Orchid, I'm going to say. Yeah, Black Bloom from the Night Orchid collection. Literally released a few weeks ago here in the UK. Also a highlighter. Not as nice as this one, I hasten to add. And obviously this palette's much smaller, but, you know, it's the same person who's designed those, and it ain't Victoria Beckham, of course, and it isn't Tom Ford. So you can very much see in the packaging that this is the Estée Lauder family. Now, having said that, I like the Tom Ford packaging. It's very sleek and neat and pretty, and this would be much more handbag friendly than this one, because this one is a lot weightier. The quality is definitely higher if you like heft for your money. And although the kind of black ridging looks similar, I mean, this is very obviously plastic. I don't mean that in a bad way because it's nicely done, but you can definitely see that. Whereas this is a kind of more matte, I think they're going for a faux leather type finish, also in black, which, I mean, it has a lovely gleam, but it looks less plastic. It could pass for genuine leather, and even the gold kind of casing you can see is more substantial with the hinging at the back and the kind of rolled opening instead of the one with the Tom Ford logo on. So similar but different. Better, I don't know. Better in terms of quality, yes, and as a kind of I don't know, dressing table product. It is much too heavy to carry around in your handbag, in my opinion. You would really be giving yourself shoulder strain or tennis elbow or whatever if you tried to heft this around, even before you got your wallet and your keys and all the rest of it into your handbag. But that's another matter. Now, the product itself. Modern Mercury is a re-promote of an an historic Estée Lauder highlighter, which I never owned, but I have read about and I know was very popular, and people search it out on eBay and so forth. And they've marketed this on the basis that it was Victoria Beckham's favourite Estée Lauder highlighter, and she asked for it to be reproduced for her collection. So there you go. It is beautiful. It's a, a standard now jelly to powder formulation, tastefully kind of lightly scored, but not, you know, a extraordinary pattern as some of the collectible highlighters have, but very, very tasteful. I just think this, you know, screams opulence and elegance, and in that sense, it certainly does honour to Victoria Beckham. concept, really. It's beautifully produced, and it's a very nice highlighter. I understand why it's so popular. It's a real, true rose gold, light rose gold, highly pigmented, very soft, obviously not as soft as some powders are. For example, the Tom Ford. This is by no means one of my favourite highlighters, I have to say, but this is a standard powder, nicely done. You can see the difference in pigmentation with the kind of jelly formula. I think does give an excellent payoff, which means it's quite a versatile product, because if you're into very shiny eyeshadow, you can undoubtedly wear this as an eyeshadow, and you can apply it with different levels of force. If you apply it with a fan brush to the cheeks, you'll get still an obvious highlight, but a much less in-your-face effect. So you don't have to glow like a kind of rose gold Dalek with metallicness. It is a versatile highlighter, in my opinion, and it's a beautiful product. So if you like highlighters, this is definitely one to look at. I never had Modern Metallic, and I'm pleased I've got my hands on this one. £48, so up there with very expensive highlighters, but definitely a quality one. And as I say, you might like to look at that. To me, it's the standout of the collection. I do like this eye palette as well. I ummed and ahed for a long time before I bought it. It's very pricey, £68. Can I just point out, while we're still on the packaging, we've got there Victoria Beckham, Estée Lauder written on the good quality mirror. I should say, I don't think I pointed out in the first vid, VB on her bottle of liquid illuminator. I think that's the only place that the VB actually has been stamped. So I quite like that. You can imagine that the marketing people might have stuck VB on all the palettes, and they haven't, which I think speaks to an admirable degree of restraint. I quite like that about the range. Now, there are individual eyeshadows. They're all quite glittery. They are more Victoria Beckham look than this, I think, because there's a really smoky black. There's a much deeper than this, but beautiful teal green. I think there's a bronze as well, which I can kind of imagine her wearing. Whereas a number of these colours, again, a bit like the comments I made in relation to the red lipstick, they don't seem to me to have anything to do with Victoria Beckham. They're not at all what she would wear. And although for obvious reasons, I think some of her models wore this blue on her catwalk show, certainly in New York from the photos I saw. Previous shows, none of her models wore any of these kind of colours because it's just not her aesthetic. So there you go. Having said that, they are beautiful shadows. No matte, which I think probably is a disappointment in a palette that's costing £68, because they're all satins to metallic shimmers. But they are very pretty quality. My caveat here is I haven't worn any of them on the eye yet, so I can't report how they work there. And we all know that, how am I going to do this? Skin swatches don't always show up as well on the eye, or work as well on the eye as they do on the skin of the arm, but you can see how they all swatch. This blue is really, really beautiful. I think, quite tough to wear, especially for more mature women, but I might work it round with the eyeliner. This brown, which is showing a bit powdery there, but it feels like a reasonable quality. Can't really say more till I've had a go on the eyes. And then this one here, two really nice mid-browns. This one's kind of reminding me a bit of the Burberry. I think it's Midnight Brown, which is a beautiful shade. Looks nothing particular in the palette, in the pan rather, because they're individuals at Burberry, but actually is a very, or I've found, versatile shade. And then you've got the green. So yeah, it's certainly a very autumnal winter collection. Beautifully presented. Won't be for everyone. I probably will have to report back a bit more when I've tried wearing them on the eyes. Yeah. So it is a nice collection. I think the packaging is beautiful. You know, overall, I can see why Victoria Beckham is going into makeup. She is interested in it. I have no doubt about that. This range, I guess, isn't just about her signature look of the smoky eye, the nude lips, and the rather orange skin, which is as far away from my aesthetic as it's possible to be. I think they've quite cleverly combined aspects of that with more marketable colours for people from a wider diversity of makeup aesthetic, so that there's a bit of something for everyone. I mean, this isn't a young person's collection. However many fans VB has who are teenagers, I don't know if she's still popular with that range of women, young girls. I suspect probably not. I mean, this is an expensive range targeted at, I would have thought, the same demographic as Tom Ford. So, you know, it's quite interesting to see how the two compare next to each other, but definitely worth a look. As I say, if you're into kohl pencils, I do think that kohl double-sided pencil was beautiful quality, but I mean, it's just not my thing. And the red lipstick, as I say, or have said in my previous video, looked absolutely sensational on the two people I happened to find wearing it later that evening. But again, I bought enough red for the time being. So yeah, pretty positive thoughts about the Victoria Beckham collection, and I shall look forward to telling you a bit more about them when I've had a chance to wear them a bit more. Until then, bye for now.